Good morning, vlog. It is Friday, March 21st, and I am ready to go to work. I just finished uploading the next batch of videos for YouTube that I've taken from my daily Snapchat vlogs, and I think I'm about ready to start entering this phase of going back through all this content that or this documented content, I guess, this documentation of my daily vlog, and finding some of those snippets, some of those really more interesting and relevant pieces of documentation that pertain to a particular subject, condensing that down into about maybe a minute long, a minute and a half max, maybe even like 2 or 3 minutes, depending on the length of my rant and how relevant it is, how cohesive it is, and how coherent it is, I should say. And then just rehashing that for various platforms, and then start posting it onto Instagram as some daily post, posting it onto Facebook as a longer form from Instagram, because Instagram only allows you to post a max of 1 minute of video on your actual news feed. You can I can't remember how long it is for a for an Instagram story, but I definitely want to see what I can do in terms of driving engagement through Instagram posts, but then also finding if I can find any relevant business information and post that to LinkedIn as well. So I'm starting to find these synergies, I guess, these connections between the pillar content that I'm trying to document through these daily vlogs, and then taking the sections of that pillar content and distributing it out, the relevant parts, to specific platforms across the various social networks. And that is the next stage in the Gary Vaynerchuk slide deck that I'm trying to start implementing now. And but also, while at the same time keeping these daily vlogs going, so I still have that constant stream of daily pillar content that I can pull from. And as I do more podcasts and just more engagement with other people in real life, and I'm documenting that as well, that's even more pillar content that I can pull in the future. So this, like, just going through and making these connections now, it's really getting me kind of pumped up to do it. I'm actually kind of regretting that I have to go into work now while I'm feeling like this, because I know work is going to bring my energy level down, my motivation level down, but hopefully I can find this inspiration and motivation on my way back home from work, so I can continue on this high that I'm feeling right now, in a way. And I guess during lunch I'll try and edit the Planned in Obsolescence podcast that Danny and I did on Monday and try and get that out as soon as possible. Maybe even use my iPad to make the thumbnail art temporarily, at least something to put up there to get ready for publishing it on iTunes. For that, basically all I need is a square image with I'll probably have like a gradient or something in the background with the text of planned in obsolescence in some sort of easy to read but interesting font that might catch somebody's eye. And then who knows, maybe later we'll have a like either like cartoon versions of ourselves on the thumbnail later, or I don't know, I'll just have to either outsource a thumbnail design to either Fiverr or find some local help that may want to take on the project themselves and submit something. But I just need to not worry about the quality too much in that respect, that I can improve that later. I just need to get it out. And before I head out, I just wanted to show a quick little life hack that I've picked up over time. Like, I found it on a YouTube video a little while back, and so I guess I want to pass the trick along. If you have a lot of stuff that you want to bring with you separately, like food and whatnot, so I have my lunch here, and I brought some fudge to share with the coworkers, and I have like a couple more items, and I've stacked them all together, biggest to smallest, on top. And I put them in a plastic bag, and now you can carry it around like this, but you could, it can shift around, it can get lopsided and whatnot, especially while you're holding it like this. There's a neat trick that I learned where you can tie these handles a specific way, and not just, knot it and not do your normal double knot or whatever, because then you have to like just rip open the bag in order to get your stuff. There's an easier knot that I learned online, and I'm going to show you how to do it in a second. So you put all of your stuff in the middle of the plastic bag, just a normal grocery bag, and now you take the handles, you put one inside the other like this, you then have your hands like this, you turn the handles, and then you take the inside of the one handle and the other handle, you grab them and you pull them through one another again to make this kind of knot, and you can tighten it down right there in the middle, and now it turns into a handle that keeps the bag nice and balanced, and you just carry it around like a little plastic carrying case. And then to untie it, all you have to do is is tug on the ends here, and it's back open, and you can use it again. So you can take a plastic bag and keep reusing it. And I may be describing it wrong, but I'll just show it again, maybe from a different angle. So I have the bag, I have the handles here, and so I'm going to put one inside the other like that. I'm going to turn it, and then I'm going to grab the inside of one and the inside and pull them through the inside of each other again, and then just tighten it that way. And then there you go. Simple enough. I don't really know what possessed me to just go through that, but I'd been using that trick for a while, and I don't think enough people know about it, and I wanted to share it. So there's a little bit of knowledge for you this morning. I got to get to work. I hope you have a great day. It is considerably less windy than a few days ago when I tried to come out here on this balcony area at the office, and so I was able to get some B-roll footage, I guess. I had like a mini photography session out here during lunch, and also trying to learn how to use Ferrite to split the audio channels that I recorded with Danny on Monday to make into a podcast. So I like that I have this wonderful backdrop behind me. It's getting a little bit warm, but that's okay. I took quite a number of pictures just because, hey, if I don't like them, I can throw them out just as quick. That's kind of the key for photography as well, is that, it's a game of patience, but it's also a game of trial and error. So you just keep taking footage, especially now where film is all digital. And I mean, it's also a game of experimentation, just trying different things out, different camera angles, whether it's stationary or handheld, whichever way, and different angles, different positions. Just have fun with it. I took some pictures with me on the corner of the building, kind of against the railing here. I actually lined up a shot like this where I have it on a pillar, right where I have the camera on a pillar right now, and I had the portrait mode for the iPhone camera set, so I can have kind of a blurred background, but you can still kind of tell what it is, and it gives some nice depth to that photo. I'm hoping out of the dozens and dozens of photos that I took, I'll be able to use a couple of shots at least. But that's enough lollygagging around on my lunch break. I need to go back into the office and finish out the work day strong. All right, vlog, quick evening update. I did some, after having dinner with my wife, which she made delicious butter chicken, and it was wonderful and tasty and spicy, and I loved it. Anyway, did some triage on the photos that I took during lunch and a little bit into the evening. I actually took advantage of some of the of the sunlight, I guess, in the evening, trying to get some cool shadow shots. I think I got at least one or two of those, but I also got about two or three pretty good shots in during lunchtime, one of which I made my Instagram post today, so I'll link it down below whenever that comes up for posting later. And I was able to get a couple more shots out of that session that I'll be able to use for other pieces of content as well, whether they're promotional. I can just kind of see a caption being put on a couple of those shots that I made. So maybe I'll make some sort of inspirational quote later that I can paste on there or something and make into almost kind of a stock image that I can throw up on either Facebook or Instagram or maybe even LinkedIn later. But anyway, I came back home, and after looking through all the photos that I took, I also started to learn Ferrite a little bit in terms of audio editing, splitting out the two channels that I record on, the left and right stereo channels, and splitting those out so I can have more control over each channel independently. And then I was also trying to get over the little learning curve that Ferrite has in terms of using what type of gestures you can use in order to move along the timeline, expand and contract the timeline so you can zoom in, make some fine-tuning adjustments if need be, using the Apple Pencil for editing as well. And after I started to get more acquainted with the user interface and the process, things started to flow a little bit a little bit neater, I guess, for lack of a better term. It was a different way of editing audio that I hadn't experienced before. It was actually a really pleasant experience once I got the hang of it. And I was kind of taken aback for a moment because I was able to kind of reposition my peripherals in such a way that more comfortably suited my workflow. I started off operating it like a laptop in a way with my keyboard, because I could because Ferrite supports keyboard controls as well. So the space bar was the play pause button. I can use my fingers to zoom in, zoom out, and navigate along the timeline. I was using the Apple Pencil to cut edits and deletes and things like that. But it started to get a little bit too cumbersome in a way. Like, my hands were kind of getting in the way of each other. I don't know. It was weird. I was putting my hands in weird positions to try and hit the play pause at the same time, but also reaching up and just getting annoyed all around. So finally I realized, wait, hold on. This is an iPad. It's attached to the keyboard through magnets. Let's just flatten this all out. So I kind of spread it out on a table. I put my keyboard separate from the iPad and my pencil in my left hand, and I was able to kind of have the keyboard with the play pause on one hand separate from my editing hand on my left hand on the iPad. And I decided to go ahead and take a picture of that setup as well, which I may put as a future Instagram post. If I do end up doing that, I'll post it. I'll link it in the description down below when I post this to YouTube. But I was just able to quickly come to a realization, hey, I have more mobility. I have more customization in how I want to operate in this environment. And that really kind of opened up a new way of thinking about how I can edit content and integrate using a device like the iPad more into my content creation and editing workflow. And so that was just kind of like a neat little moment that I wanted to share before heading off to bed. But for now, it is getting pretty late. It is almost midnight, so I may if I for some reason can't get to sleep right away, I may do a little bit of reading. I might do some commenting on Instagram or some research on Twitter and responding there. But odds are I'll probably go to sleep pretty quickly. So, yeah, I guess with that, I bid you a good night, good day, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Kind of like all the different Jim Carrey greetings from The Truman Show. Fantastic movie. Anyway, I'm rambling now. It means I'm tired. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.